Hello everyone and welcome to this interesting session of Spotlight. The topic today is money, power and recognition. What moves the authors most? In this country, we have a situation where the authors are always looking for more recognition. We are considered an economy of the consumers, not necessarily an economy of the creators, which in some ways should tell us that the author should get a lot of recognition, which some ways should tell us that the creator is always the empowered body because we are a consumers economy and we are always looking for creators. But interestingly and sadly, that is not always the case. That is not to say authorship in this country, doesn't exist at all. There are definitely great authors that come out. There is great literary work that comes out, and there is creative work that comes out in all different fields. However, today we have four prominent authors who recently participated in the PVLF Excellence Awards, and we are going to talk to them about exactly that. Money, power, and recognition. What moves the authors most? So let me welcome my fellow colleagues in this panel, and let me give them, a short time each to introduce themselves to our community, and then let's jump into questions, and then let's jump into, some interesting discussions with them. So Dr. Sujata, do you want to start first?
Hello, thank you very much, Kapil. Hello, everybody. Good evening and hearty New Year greetings to everyone. My name is Sujata Parashar and I live in Delhi. I am a fiction writer. I write across genres. I've written 12 books so far. However, my 12th book, Going Solo, Raising Happy Kids, is a non-fiction which won the PVLF Author Excellence Awards. That's very briefly about me. I'm also a talk therapist. So other than writing, I'm also a talk therapist and a psychosocial trainer. And I started an initiative 2-3 years back called the Talk It Out Express. So that's very briefly about me. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Sujata. Shalini, do you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah. Hi to everyone on this panel. I think I feel privileged to be part of this among the other four of you. I'm a Googler by the day. I work at Google. I'm a digital marketer, and writing is something that I started when I was young, and I don't know how it stuck along, but I'm just glad it stuck along. And I think I'm on this panel because I was able to receive the Author Excellence Award for my book Dear Silver Lining, my first book, and it's in the poetry category. Hoping to learn from everybody on the panel here, and yeah, that's briefly about me.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Shalini. Vikramjit, do you want to go next, please?
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Vikramjit Singh, and I also come from Delhi. I have been IT guy half my life. I started, working professionally when I was in class 12, so never went to college. Did whatever I could, reached whatever heights I could, and then I fell in love with history. So left my IT job, left my digital marketing career, and got into exploring monuments and started my research. First book came out a couple of years ago, and second one is already into print now. So yeah, that's what me.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Vijayakarthikeyan, if you can introduce yourself.
Good evening, friends. Myself Vijayakarthikeyan. I'm from Madurai and I live in Chennai currently. I have written 10 books so far. 3 of them are fiction. The others are non-fiction in both English and in Tamil. One of my fiction called Once Upon an IAS Exam got translated into Hindi and a couple other languages as well. So this recent award was bestowed upon for the book Mafia Premier League. And I'm thankful to all of you and the Frontlist media as well for all that. And apart from that, I am a doctor and I also belong to the 2011 batch of the Indian Administrative Service. So I'm a bureaucrat as well. So that's about me for now. And I'm very happy to be here as a part of this panel and be amongst you and share experiences with you and learn from you also. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. And for the audience, myself, Kapil Gupta, my literary career is not as progressive. I have authored one book that got published this September called as India Vision, New Age Equality. But I'm in this panel as the moderator of the panel. By profession, I'm the CEO of Frontlist Media, which is the organization that actually runs this event. So let's jump into questions then. So, we usually see there is a slew of books that do not really get selected for awards, but they are amazing. They are good enough to amaze readers. They get a lot of, a lot of reader base, a lot of sales. What do you think is your biggest accomplishment that you would want to look at as an author? Getting awards or getting praise from readers, or both? And how do they measure one against the other? So Dr. Sujata, you want to go first?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Quite interesting. I think it made me think also, none of us really want to turn down awards or a word of praise from our readers or well-wishers, right? I think it's, wanting to be appreciated is a human desire. We all feel it. We all want it. So as artists, as creative people, of course, we want appreciation, and both the things, whether you talk about awards or you talk about a word of praise from a reader who's read your book, both do that job. You feel appreciated. But what you have said is also right, that not everybody can get an award, right? So word of praise acts in place of awards at times. It is your award or your reward. If your reader comes back to you and says that, I could resonate with that character, or I loved your story, or, I stayed all night to read your book. Now that in itself is a huge rewarding experience. And in my opinion, that is itself an award to the writer. So that's very briefly, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. Vijay, do you want to go next? Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Was it for me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So like Dr. Sujata rightly told, nobody wants to turn down an award, but then more than anything else, it's about how satisfied you are at the end of the day with your job, and end of the day, how much of a freedom that gives you. From somebody like me, that freedom that I get in expressing myself as a writer and giving the form of a word to my thought, that is more valuable than anything else. End of the day, how much ever busy the day is, how much ever clammed up your mind is, you come home, you sit down and you write something. That sort of a feeling you get when you start penning down your thoughts, that liberation, that sort of freedom, I think that is invaluable. So that matters most to somebody like me who's writing. And money, fame, recognition, all that is very good. Nobody would want to say we don't want that. Yes to all of that. But then if you ask me, this carries more value than all those things personally.
Sure. Ms. Shalini?
Yeah, I think echoing what Sujata and Vijay said, I was just asking myself that, would I continue writing, if I say I didn't get the award that I just got? What is the change that it brings to my thought? And honestly, I think, awards provide a lot of scale to your book, and I can't take that away. It is a marketing of your efforts, right? And it is in its truest form. So like Dr. Sujata said, I don't think it's right to turn them down, but do they serve as the sole motivator for writers like us? Not at all. I think, like Vijay said, it's the most liberating act that we do, right? Because after a long day, or when you start penning down things, you just feel good. It's like a sneeze, right? If you're just getting it, it's supposed to let out. You have to let it out, and it just feels good. So that's the main part of it. Awards are great. They are a great accelerator, but they're not the sole motivator.
So, Mr. Vikramjit?
Well, I think everything that I had to say has already been said. Perhaps I can add one element to it, that awards come at the second stage. The first stage would be appreciation from the readers. Only when you get the appreciation is when you reach the stage of awards. And if your audience is not enjoying your work, awards make no sense.
Sure.
So, once your audience starts enjoying, your readers starts enjoying your work, they appreciate your efforts, and they love you so much that you reach the stage of award. And that's when you say that, yes, so that's why, like all the fellow panelists have been saying that awards are important. That is because we have already crossed that first stage and reached the second one. So yeah, both of the things are important.
Sure. Perfect. So in terms of as a writer, is it the urge to write for your personal satisfaction, or is it, the idea of making money through it, or is it the idea of getting recognition? Which of the three? So money, power, recognition, or your self satisfaction, which of them is the primary driver for you guys as an author? So Mr. Vijay, you want to start first on this one?
Yeah, sure. I'll just do a short anecdote kind of thing. The reason why I started writing. I used to go around as part of my official work. I used to meet a lot of students. Among a few of them, I used to interact, and they wanted preparatory guide or something to prepare for competitive exams. So they were in remote villages. They wanted guidance. They didn't have proper guidance, and they didn't want they didn't want to again spend so much and go to a metro and get through a competitive exam also. So they wanted help. This was like say 10 years ago. Not the internet had not penetrated so much. So at such a situation, then I thought, why not give an form in the form of a book to them, and why not start writing? That is how the whole thing started for me to write. It was not that I became a writer from childhood or anything, but then so it happened as an accident during one of my days in work. I started writing. That's how the first book happened, and then that was very satisfying. Those people, again, those kids were very happy, and people who were preparing very happy, and a lot of positive feedback. And others wanted me to write more, and it was in Tamil language actually, regional. And then you do regional, and then you do a specific thing. You go from there. You started writing a broad thing from again self-help and all that. Many people want you to write that. A lot of publishers ask for the same. So after that, then you switch over again fiction. That it's again your mind is at work. You find that happiness, and you want to keep building on that. So to answer your question, that is how it works. Entirely, it is for me, but then it was for somebody else. So it worked both ways for me, thankfully, and I'd like to continue doing the same.
Vikramjit, how about you?
Well, you have given a few options. I would go for none of the above. You know why? Because audience satisfaction, I don't know. When I was writing, I had no idea how it will be received. Will I receive any fame out of it? I had no idea, and that was never the objective. Money, I knew from day one that your first book, your second book, your third book, and first few books, you don't start making money. And I think everybody will agree to it. It's not the beginning of your writing career when you start making money. Probably when you become a big established author, write 10, 15, 12 books, something of that sort. That's when royalty starts kicking in, and that's when tables turn around. But, for a person like me, where my first book took 5 years, and these 5 years were not just sitting idle and doing other work and just spending 15, 20 minutes a day or half an hour, 1 hour a week. No, I was continuously working on it because the topic I chose, there was no book written on it. The content that was there was not available in English or Hindi, which I was able to read. So I had to learn a new language first. And when I learned Urdu, and when I purchased Urdu books, turned out that half of the farmans, and because I was writing pure non-fiction from medieval era, half of the farmans that have been issued in Tughlaq and Mughal court are in Persian. So then I had to go and learn Persian so that I could go to those archives. And when I reached there and I found out that those farmans don't exist in India, they are in British Library in London. Some of them are in New York. So I had to establish contacts over there, get the copies from there, do my research. It took me 5 years to just come out with one. I think I have it here. That's the size of the book. And this much took 5 years. The second one, this is on Stepwells of Delhi. Second one is on Forts of Delhi. I've just sent the manuscript. That one took 7 years. Now, when I'm putting that much time, I know that my 5 years cannot get compensated by sale of, even if I sell 10,000 copies. So, and this is also not just so that people would know, oh, Vikramjit has done something big. But the idea here is that there is certain kind of information which does not exist. Someone will have to do it. Why not me?
Sure. Perfect. Shalini?
Yeah, I think my motivation to start writing was uh, just because I wrote something. How I started writing was I actually wrote a couplet in my summer vacations. I was, I think, 10 years old, and I was skating in the house, and I just sat on my dad's table, and I just thought maybe I'll scribble something on his nicely laid out desk, very inviting. Okay, I wrote 4 lines, and I just took off from that little library my dad had. I again visited that room, say 10 days after in the same summer vacation, and I saw that he had edited 1 line. And that's what I call it. I call it 75% confidence. So when I saw that 1 line edited, I saw 3 were right and not that the one was edited. And I write for my dad. I think I don't write for anybody else. I write because he reads my work. And I think now I've gotten more dad figures. Like when I say that, I mean people who like my work. I don't write thinking I have to get that validation that I write well from 100 people or 1,000 people. I write for myself and that small little circle that I absolutely adore. If more people like it, it feels great. But if they don't, does it let me down? No, it does not. So yeah, that's why I write. And everything you said, right? Money, power, recognition. Who doesn't like all of that? You know, it's like asking somebody that, do you not like dessert, right? Everybody likes dessert. But do you have the meal for the dessert? No, you just have the meal. So it's like that meal for me.
Sure. So I guess one of my opinions in this always has been that there are two kinds of authors. There are authors that write, and they write because they have time. They write because they have a subject. They write because it's their mission in life. They write because they are interested in it, and all of the other aspects related to it. And then there are people who have writing as a career. And I've always believed that people who have writing as a career would probably look at things a little bit differently. They would probably look at more recognition because they will always be, they not necessarily always, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory sense, but they would always want to sell more. They would always want to be recognized more. I guess all of us on this call, interestingly, are people who come from a background where we have done enough other things in life, or we continue to do enough other things in life, that our book being successful or not, our book being money making or not, our book necessarily getting awards or not, is not going to make that much of a difference to our lives. It's just another feather in a cap that already is fairly well decorated and fairly well well blessed, if I could say that. um, but if assuming there are authors who are who are looking at authorship as a career, do you think the sense of achievement in terms of receiving an award, in what it would provide, one in terms of recognition, and second in terms of an increased reader base and increased buyer base, do you think it would be more important for them? I'm asking that question because my follow-up question is directly relevant related to that. So this time, Vikramji, do you want to start first?
More than half the panel over here comes from a digital marketing background. So we understand how marketing works. And we understand that when a person, this is his bread and butter, this is his career. Mm-hmm. And yes, it makes, let me give you an example. I was well established in my IT career, in my digital marketing career, and I did some good projects. I received the Golden Dragon PMA award and I got a Cannes mention. Once I reached that stage, I left my IT career, and that's when everybody told me that now you are at a stage where you will actually start minting money. Right now you are making money, now you will mint money. Cannes mention is the biggest thing that you can get. I mean, Cannes award of course, but even the mention is a big thing. It's like Oscar mention. There's the digital marketing counterpart of it. But then idea was not that, because that had not been my lifelong career choice. I wanted to do something else, which I'm now doing. So those who think that this is their career, awards make a lot of difference because they get the recognition that they want to step ahead. So yeah, awards are important.
Okay. Shalini? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I was saying, I think authorship as an art needs a facelift. I think I couldn't have put it better the way you said it. If it's one among the many things that people do, then it's it's a personality enhancer. It's great. People talk about it when they meet you. But had I been writing, and if, like, could I even think of writing as my primary job? I'm not sure, because, in my heart, I would always feel, will I make enough money? And I might be a minimalist, I might be something who's not into fancy materialistic things, but I would need some basic amount of money to live. And does authorship in India give you that? No, it does not. And that's where I think not just awards, a lot of things come in. Elocution contests, reading, or author reading their stuff to readers, like multiple platforms, and awards could be one of them. Awards is the sole puller for this entire facelift? No. But awards is one of the facelift accelerators? Absolutely, yes. Because it's like me getting promoted at work, right? If I don't get promoted after a number of years, I'm like, why am I not getting promoted? I feel like it's my right to get promoted. So if I was a writer, I would probably feel, and if I was a full-time writer and really making money out of this, I would have a different perspective.
Sure. Dr. Sujata?
Well, as an accidental writer, for me to understand the mindset of writers who take it as a career is slightly different, because I again look at it from a point of view of, someone who, writing happened to me. I wasn't the one who took to writing, but writing found me, and then I found this potential within me, and I said, okay, the first book was actually being written for self-consumption, or as Shalini put it, for that very close-knit circle. I was just writing it for myself and for them. But then I found something in it, and I said, okay, let me just approach a few publishers, well-known publishers, and Rupa was one of them. And so Rupa liked the story, and then they offered me a wonderful contract. And after that, the book was published. I was happy with that. I was like, okay, this is going to be a one book thing, but it became a huge hit. And that compelled me to, kind of, so I was forcing myself to write the second book, because I wanted to see that I can write, like, let me just see if this is just a fluke. Or that happened. The second book got published, and then that also was again by Rupa. It also did quite well, and that's how I started off. Now, after 12 books, I cannot call myself, no longer I can call myself an accidental writer, but I've taken it as a profession as well. So it's a large part of my time goes in writing and writing related activities and other ancillary stuff that I do related to writing. But then again, as far as awards are concerned, it's as Shalini very nicely put it, it's a facelift, right? So whether you are a writer who's doing it for the passion or for gaining recognition, for both kind of writers, I think awards are a wonderful way of presenting your work, of making readers curious about what is it that you have written about. It's also a very nice way of marketing your book. It's not like on your face, in your face. So it's a very pleasant way of doing it, and boost sales as well. So that's my thought on it.
Vijay?
Yeah, like all our friends mentioned, awards are good, definitely. None of us are denying that. Very good form of, again, promoting the book and taking things forward in a very positive way. But then, like I mentioned earlier, be it a part-time sort of a writer or somebody who's seriously into it and wants to solely focus on selling the book, getting the numbers and all that, there is a very fine line between being passionate and being obsessive. It is not that you need to just focus on this and this only, not just for awards, not just for writing per se, but for everything else in life. That is what I have experienced, and that is what I would like to tell people who are writing as well, be it full-time or part-time. So you can be passionate, but you don't need to be obsessive with whatever you do. Say, for example, I used to work as a doctor in a hospital. You do deal with all emergency situations. You see life and death in front of you. You do your best. You focus on the process, but then things are beyond you. Same you can say for a book as well. You do your best, give it your best shot. Book may sell, book may tank. People may troll you on social media. People may appreciate you. That is all fine. But then you need to be passionate about what you do, and you need to just focus on the process. So that's what I'd like to tell whoever is listening to this and who would be a part-time or a full-time writer.
Dr. Sujata, you had a point?
Yes, just adding on to what Vijay said, all the awards that I've received so far, 5 or 6 of them, whichever, they came to me as a pleasant surprise. So even the PVLF award, I submitted it because I came to know of it. It got shortlisted, and then I was like, okay, kuch to karna hai, because of the voting thing. That was really new for me, because the other awards that I had received was decided by the jury and everything, and you receive the award, right? But in this case, the voting thing was there, and I was like, I was enjoying the whole entire process, like asking my family and friends and everybody and friends and everyone. The entire process was really interesting and quite exciting. But then again, it was a pleasant surprise for me that so many people voted for this book, which is on an offbeat topic, and it made the topic, the subject, popular. Because when I was writing this book, the intention was to create a guidebook for single parents, and single parents as such in this country don't receive a lot of attention. Now, when I posted about the award in these communities, on Facebook groups and everywhere, they were excited. They were so thrilled and happy and felt like they were a part of, and of course they are a part of, this award. So I dedicate the award to all of them, because many of them have contributed in the book as well. So it did so many things at so many different levels. The award did so many wonderful stuff. So basically what I'm trying to say is that when we are writing, we are not focusing on awards or recognition or anything. We are writing because we want to write. We have something to tell, and that's what we want to share with others. Whatever that, it could be a question, it could be exploring an idea, it could be conveying a feeling about a certain topic, about a certain subject, etc. But once it goes there for an award and all, and the awareness is huge. The engagement with the readers is something that we enjoy, and hopefully the readers also like engaging with the authors and all. And I think awards play a major role in that, to make that possible.
Sure. So let's take that thought further, and let's take Shalini's comment saying awards are a facelift. My question to all of you is, if awards are a facelift, is it wrong for somebody to go purchase an award? I come from the perspective, while we ensured in the PVLF Excellence Awards, our one mission as the organizer of the awards, our one mission was to ensure that they are as unbiased as possible. They are as data driven as possible. And as four of you know, interestingly, after we got the award and everything done, I figured out that Shalini and I have a connection, that she is the alumni of an institute that pays me a lot of money as their digital agency. We didn't even know this when we before she got the award. Anyway, as the organizer, we always wanted to ensure that they are as transparent as possible. But as a digital agency, I have always, and as a digital agency, I see so many awards that happen where, I get mails almost on a daily basis saying some market innovation award, some, top 40 company awards, and, this CEO award and this CIO award, and all of this is happening. And all that I have to do is pay some money, and, they will give me a 2-page article in the magazine that they have along with the award and, whatever feature and all that. What I'm trying to understand from all of you is, if award is a facelift, as an author, as a creator, as a business person, or as anybody who is looking for any kind of facelift for yourself, individual or organization, would you or should you consider looking at paid awards?
Can I take?
Yeah, please go ahead, please.
I just had like a immediate thought. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm saying I would leave it open for you guys to decide who wants to go first.
No, just like I was trying to think of it in my head when I heard the question, and I think, see, for any economy or any ecosystem, let's talk about an ecosystem. Every industry has an ecosystem. Oil has an ecosystem, right? Media has an ecosystem. Reading has an ecosystem, and it's got 3 people in it. It's got 3 pillars. It's got the reader, it's got the writer, and it's got a thread which connects the two, which is possibly what Frontlist Media is, or all other agencies of the same sort are, right?
Sure.
While awards can be purchased, yes, absolutely, they can be purchased. And think of it from the economic angle, absolutely. The person who is wanting to give visibility to the readers gets the money, is able to promote 4-5 books. That way, both people have, the reader also has something to read, and the writer also has something to look forward to in terms of money. But I think the problem with this ecosystem is what you are making the reader discover.
Sure.
Right? Because reader is discovering a couple of books, a handful of books, a handful of writers, and the reader is building an image about this ecosystem.
Sure.
And there are readers who are like 7 years old, 10 years old. Think of people who start with Harry Potters, right? There are young readers, and also there are people who are 40, 45. Maybe they started reading very late in life, because now is when they have the time. Like my mom, right? She started reading now because she now has time. So this is the face that we are giving to this set of users. Now, if the award is purchased and it is not the quality that it would have been had it been an honest take at who is winning, that's the fuel that we are giving to this ecosystem, and the ecosystem will crash if it's not fueled properly. It'll survive. It's going to be like that American housing bubble, right? A lot of people will think it's doing great for a couple of years, and then suddenly it'll crash because nobody's liking what they read. They'll be like, people don't write well these days. That's the image they will have, and there'll be some nice writers who are hidden in the corners because probably their books didn't ever make it.
Sure.
Well said.
Absolutely.
I agree with Shalini. They do a great disservice to the writing fraternity as well as to the readers. Institutions who have these kind of awards which are paid, and I get mails and messages and Insta messages as well for such kind of awards, and often I have been ignoring them. I don't respond even to such mails, and I feel really bad for the writers who really have to do this, and to promote their books. They find this as a medium to market their books and all. I think that's very sad for the writing fraternity, and one day it will collapse, as she rightly put, as Shalini mentioned. One day that the whole entire, and all of them, it will be a generic view, for everybody. Readers, they will say Indian writers are bad writers, which is already the case. Everybody thinks like that. It's just a few years, like past decade or so, maybe the Indian writing has come up a little. We have some readership base and everything, but on the whole, people still think that Indian writers write bad stories or bad books, which is perhaps this is a main reason, because we have to purchase an award for our books. So yeah, I think Shalini put it very well.
Sure. Vikramjit?
I think Shalini has summed it up and very nicely. The kind of damage that these paid things, although they are important for those people who are, for them, this is their bread and butter, for the author. So author needs recognition. And at the same time, the business that is going to, bestow that award on someone, or in this case, sell that award, they also need money to survive. So from that angle, it may sound feasible. However, if you look at it, and ideally, the correct system should be that a company can charge a very nominal fee for you to participate, but that will not guarantee you an award. So there should be like 500, 700 entries and 20 people getting the award. That's it. And that transparency is very important. So when the moment you put it on the website, okay, we've got 200 entries and we are giving only 10 awards. That's it. Why is Nobel Prize so important? Why is Bharat Ratna is so important? You have to create that importance. So what happens is, I won't name it, but there have been a couple of awards quite famous last year that happened. When you open your Facebook wall, every other person was getting that award, no matter from what walk of life he or she is coming. Sure. So this year, nobody participated. Sure. Next year, they'll shut their shop. They only destroyed their business. So it's the author or the people who received, some of them were actually genuine people. They got a bad name in the industry amongst their followers itself. And the business also collapsed. Sure. So it's not a win-win situation. It's a lose-lose situation for everybody.
Sure. Mr. Vijay?
Yeah. End of the day, recognition can never be bought or purchased. So, what it does exactly is destroy the entire institution in due course of time. So that can never be allowed, and that shouldn't be allowed if you're a real writer. So that is what anybody will think. And I think Vikram mentioned it initially. He said we are in the second stage, the award stage. You can keep it the second stage or third stage or whatever, but you have to climb and make those steps and climb to that stage, not get your easy way into that. I think that is simply not done, and it is completely unacceptable. You can promote, you can use
Unethical,
the
totally
money.
unethical, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use the money and promote your book, digital market your book or whatever. I may even suggest something radical, like you can use the book and buy and give it to somebody, give it to students and make somebody read, get somebody the habit of reading. Not we see a lot of people, see, given a choice to a student today, whether you want to become a writer or a YouTuber, I see majority choosing the second option. So why not use this opportunity, give this money, whatever, you're anyway spending the money to promote your book. So give that thing and give some books around, make people read. You can spend it for something more useful, and you can use actually promote your book that way. So I think a big no and a big thumbs down for paying and getting an award, not just for this, in any form of life.
So I want to ask a follow-up question for that, and we are a little short on time. So, but let me ask one question, and then we'll take it from there. Have you ever called out an agency that is, selling out awards?
I did.
You did. I would love to hear about that. Because see that. Yeah, please
I'm
go.
refraining from the name right now just because I didn't see them coming back. There have been 3 agencies. Every year they used to send me a mail that you participate and this and that, and all of a sudden 2 years back, or are we allowed to take names here?
We are allowed to take names here.
So I'm talking about that Karamveer Chakra award right now.
Okay.
That, like every other person was getting it, and they approached me also. They were like, you don't have to pay anything for your nomination, you will get the award, but if you want to but in addition to that, these are the things, that these are services we offer. If you get these services from us, we can ensure you have better chances of getting the award. The way they were building the story, they were calling me up, and I'm like, I'm never gonna put my name. I don't know, Kapil, you are aware or not, but even for this award, I did not put my name myself. My publisher called me and they're like, ek jagah to bhejo. I'm like, I am not interested in sending my name for award, because my readers have been telling me how the good work is, and I've been getting appreciation from everywhere. So then they said, okay, we are doing half the work for you. You just type in your name, email ID, phone number, and a couple of things, because that is something that I had to type in. Just type that, we will finish rest of the work. So they did it. And then there was one stage where we had to ask other people to vote for it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the secret, I didn't do it.
Okay.
I didn't do it because that is something that I feel that jinko mera kaam pasand hai, unko pasand hai. They already know it. But still, when I found out that, okay, I've been given the award under one of the categories. So that is where the jury actually would have read my book. They would have actually found out that, yes, this is worth it. And that's what makes it more important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Dr. Sujata, please.
I've received that award as well, Vikram. Twice. But let me tell you, I'm talking about 2014 and 2016, I think. So during that time, they were very good. They had a long, filtering process, and then you had to write about yourself and about your books and everything, and that would be scanned. And again, in my case, somebody nominated me. So you cannot nominate yourself anyway for this award. Somebody has, and till date, I don't know who nominated me. Okay, I received the award. Stages hote hai na, pehle, I think they give you that. I don't know what the bronze, and then the silver and the gold. So I've got silver and bronze both, and somebody nominated me. And it is in association with United Nations, by the way. So this award
that is another thing that is more of a gimmick
that they publicize, that they that kind of.
Because I've been auditor for UNESCO, and I have been working very closely with UN and Archaeological Survey of India. So there are a few inner stories that you get to hear, and that's when you know that how marketing is being done. And over a period of time, the truth will reveal itself. So in 2019-20, things got totally bizarre with them, and now nobody is ready to talk to them.
But yes, you are right that there have been talks about the entire hodgepodge stuff happening. I don't know what exactly, because I have not, after that I have not, after 2016 I think I received my last award. I don't have much knowledge about how they are going or proceeding. But yeah, you are right to an extent that these things happen. Although these awards are not purchased, so they are nominated and somebody else nominates you. But what he is also sharing is partly true. Yeah.
There is a direct thing connected to it, and you can't just get an award unless you shell out some money in some way.
Sure. So let me give you a little bit of a perspective on it, on at least what I have seen. I think organizations that are in the business of awards, that are in the business of recognition, rarely will ever sell awards. These are the awards that stays on for years and years over. Then there are awards that actually get organized because there is some event that is to be done, and to get enough money for the event, a good mechanism is, let's create certain awards. Let's find out people, businesses, or organizations or departments that are willing to pay money to receive those awards because they are looking for recognition. In some way, some people justify it. And, as a marketeer, I don't know if I can 100% disagree with at least the people who are taking the awards, not the people who are giving the awards. People who are giving the awards need to have better sensibility, but sometimes people who are taking the award would come up with the rationale that, hey, Shah Rukh Khan doesn't drive an i20. However, Hyundai gets i20 sold purely on the value of Shah Rukh Khan driving it. I mean, that's an award that Hyundai received in the eyes of people that Shah Rukh drives it. Anyway, that's really why I was fascinated when Shalini said earlier that an award is a facelift, because every brand goes for facelift as part of their marketing exercise. However, I think the awards that stays on for a longer time, and specifically, so when we started the PVLF Excellence Awards, while I'm personally against buying awards, as an agency, you would see on my website, I have never received an award. That is not to say I have never done worthy work of receiving an award. I've just never paid for an award. Even today, if somebody comes up and says they want to do a profiling of me, and I receive such emails on a very regular basis, I would say absolutely would love to, but won't pay for it. 80% of people do not come back, and 10% of those who do come back and are genuinely interested do end up publishing the profile, because I'm always looking for a facelift. There is no reason why I won't, but I just don't think it is appropriate, or I don't think I need. It's not even a question of appropriateness. It's more a question of, I don't think I need to get that recognition. My work should speak for it. My customers, in the case of author, I guess the reader should speak for it in the value of what you are receiving. And with that philosophy only, because we wanted to ensure that PVLF, the Pragati Vichar Literature Festival and the PVLF Excellence Awards do not become a one-time show that just happened. We wanted to ensure there is longer-term brand value that gets created in it, is why we ensured that there is 100% transparency. And Vikramjit, I love the numbers that you shared, which was, give awards to 10% of the people that applied for the awards. In our case, it really worked like that. We had actually lesser than that. We had 5 awards for authors, and we had 109 nominations. So ended up giving awards to less than 5% of people, which I think for us was a fabulous achievement, considering it was the first time that we did these awards. I want to know some input from you on, you participated in the PVLF Excellence Awards, whether it is the PVLF Excellence Awards or whether it is some other, awards that are taking place. Any inputs from you on what all should be done to make them bigger or to make them more successful? So I want to take that as a feedback for myself as PVLF. But more importantly, I also want to leave that input for people who organize awards in what do real users, I mean, you guys are the real users for them. What do you think could be done to make it bigger?
So I have thought on this to make it more authentic and more, attractive. I think what is important is to choose the books carefully, and what kind of books should be chosen for such awards is there are the books which are educating and boosting imagination and creativity effortlessly while entertaining. So if you are, like for example, the kind of books that I write, fiction or even non-fiction for that matter, they should be informative, educative, but effortlessly, not preachy, not pedantic, and must be, merged so well with your writing that it comes out as something, as a conversation that you're having with your friend, right? And not looking down on the readers. And so effortlessly, those kind of, and books that brings out a new thought or a new idea, exploring a new theme. Again, let me go back to my book, Going Solo, Raising Happy Kids. While I was writing this book, a lot of my author friends as well as my other friends, they came to me and said that, why are you writing a book like this? What is there to write on single parenting? Why that topic? And suddenly from fiction, which you're doing well in fiction, why this? So I wasn't writing to please someone or to cater to the market. I was writing it because there was something that I wanted to say on single parenting, and to share the advantages as well as the challenges of single parent households. And that's why I wrote this book. But then if I had written it in a very preachy way, it wouldn't have made it to the award or got the recognition that it got today. Even before the award, people started writing about it. A lot of other platforms covered it. It was only because it came from the heart. There was a different perspective that I brought out, a new idea or a new theme, although single parenting is not new, but something new that I brought to the table. And I think that was, that appealed to a lot of readers. That's my thought on it.
Sure.
I think beautifully put, Dr. Sujata. I was just thinking, like, in my head also, there are two things to it. One is the jury, right? The jury needs to be so smart in terms of selecting the book, and I think everything Dr. Sujata said goes into that, right? That there are enough and more information. I mean, you Google something and you find it, but obviously, does that digest, does that go inside you, or does that change the values that you have for yourself? Probably a book which is written in that effortless way, rather with a lot of effort, but in an effortless way, is something that would be selected by the jury. But I think the other part is, how do you make it big, right? I mean, a lot of people can have a lot of good intent. There can be multiple juries which say that, I mean, we've been so nice in selecting and we've been fair, etc., etc. But how do you make it big? And I loved the way that actually PVLF promoted itself. The tagline wasn't Author Excellence Awards. It wasn't awards for 2021, 2022. It was 100% data-driven awards. Or it was, you could possibly go the next step and say, because we don't sell awards. That could just be your tagline. Because in the world which is full of so many people who are wanting to buy awards, sell awards, just be practical and say that's not something we do. And that is something that helps build the brand value, because you are clearly demarketing yourself from the rest by saying that while we are honest and fair in how we select, but we are also fair and honest in terms of how do you actually win. And that X percentage, and I mean, I'm a marketer, and sorry, so that thing is also going in, but we sometimes we put in that X% people reached out to us to buy an award and we denied, right? That's a fact now. And that says volumes about the honesty with which these awards could be operated.
I will do that. Now that I have asked Vikramjit to name, he will ask me to name those people. That won't be fair.
Now you're inviting it. No, you should do that now.
No, but I must put on record that Karamveer, what Vikram shared and what my experience with Karamveer has been totally different. You know, I had to really work at it. I didn't know who nominated me. And there was this huge list of questions that had to be answered. It was a long drawn process, after which I received the award. And in now, like nowadays, I mean, in past 2-3 years, I don't know how this thing is or how it is being conducted. Vikram has more insights into it.
It's from last 4 years only. In last 4 years only that where things have changed. Before that, right. Yes, it was a reputed brand, and that is why they were actually able to pull it off in last 3-4 years or
10
whatever.
10 years. It's going on for 10-12 years now. 14th year, right? 14th or 15th.
The last 3-4 years is when they destroyed themselves by giving it to almost everybody. I mean, I personally know people who are absolutely not deserving, because I know their work and everybody knows their work. But they standing on the stage, it was quite evident that these awards are rigged. And yes, that money has been circulated from one hand to another, and it has changed hands. Something has happened. Everybody can tell. So, you know, this is how award decreases its own value. And Kapil, the question that you asked, I just want to, so what Sujata ma'am said is perfectly right, and how Shalini built on it, right? I'm just going to rephrase it. I'll just use one word and that will summarize everything. Be transparent. That's what Shalini also said. That's what Sujata also said. Just be transparent. And be true to yourself. This is who you are. Tell us who the jury is. I mean, for example, someone like Shashi Tharoor coming and judging a book on English literature. Everybody will be looking towards that book. Even if Shashi Tharoor says, "Nah, utna maza nahi aaya," but still, if he spoke a word, even I mean, nobody can go to his level of English, obviously. But then still, so that holds a value. So who's going to judge my work? If I'm writing on the subject of history, or Shalini ma'am or Vijay writing in a subject of medical science, is there a doctor sitting on the other side judging that work? Or is there a person who's good in English literature, because he can only judge the grammar and not the depth of the content?
Sure.
So jury also becomes very important.
Sure. Okay, great.
So I have a couple of points on this. Yeah.
Sorry, Vijay. Go on, please.
No problem. Please go ahead. Yeah.
I'm fine. Go on, please.
Yeah. So to answer your question, two things I have to say. Firstly, after you shortlist the authors, I think it will be a good idea to have a session, an online session or a offline one, where the judges are all there, the jury is present, the author is present, and the audience are also present. So this gives an opportunity for her or him to put forth their points about the book, and the jury to react and the audience to react. It again helps with transparency. And more so, if I am an author, I get the award or not, but I'm on a stage, on a platform, an opportunity is given for me to talk about my work and to connect with the audience and to interact with jury. So that itself is a good recognition for me, and that is a way forward for my book. So I think such a platform would really be helpful. Second thing is, again, regional authors can also be encouraged, I feel. A lot of good work is being done, be it say a Punjabi, be it a Telugu, be it Northeastern language. I think it will be good to pick out those talents as well and encourage them. That would also be a decent idea.
Sure.
That's it. Well said.
To answer your specific points, Vijay, one challenge with doing the regional awards is I mean, at least at our
finding the jury for
it was almost impossible to find jury for it. And we wouldn't be doing justice by not having the right jury, because then the award would lose its significance. Also, I mean, frankly, this year we did not even have funding to promote the regional based awards to the right geographies and make it that book. I mean, next year, I'm sure we would have done it much earlier. We would have gotten reasonable amount of organizers and and sponsors. And looking at the response that we have received over the last 15 days, specifically after our voting closed down, the kind of response we have received has just been fabulous. I mean, I can't tell you the number of people who have called us to say, can you put our name? And I even receive emails till today. My Frontlist team tells me that they receive emails even till today with authors saying, can I be nominated for the award? Can I receive the award? And we, of course, none of that is feasible. this year, I think I want to give kudos to the Frontlist team. You know, I of course was not involved in the execution on a day-to-day basis, but the Frontlist team, I think they did a fabulous job to pull these awards, to pull the entire literature festival with the kind of zeal, with the kind of flawlessness that they did. You know, and next year I'm sure we will be able to do it bigger. We'll be able to do some of these author interviews when the nominations are being closed and we are doing the shortlist, so they can come up with their call for votes, so they can invite the viewers that are coming to the platform to say, hey, here is why you should vote for my book. And then, you know, the viewer has a better chance to select perhaps the right book, versus just, you know, some of the people may just go to their friends and family and get the votes and figure out if they can win. So and that's, while that is great, but that's not necessarily the intent. I think this has been a fabulous session. I'm getting a lot of good feedback, you know, that I think will help myself and for other people who are organizing awards and doing similar things on a regular basis. Thank you so much, everybody. The fact that you are talking about, you know, authors should not just be focused on awards, and, you know, it should come authentically or not come at all. You're talking about the fact that the number one thing in any award need to be transparency. You know, that you are talking about, anytime somebody comes up with an award that starts to sell, it loses its significance, and then it's just a matter of time when, you know, the entire structure starts to collapse. I love the fact that, you know, Shalini talked about the ecosystem. You know, for me, when I started Frontlist, and even today when I organize an event, I go to everyone who wants to sponsor or who wants to partner or who wants to collaborate, and I say, you will get everything else, but this publisher, reader, author ecosystem is what I want to own as Frontlist. So I love the fact that, you know, Shalini talked about the ecosystem, and thank you so much everybody for giving your ideas. We will be putting this, you know, the spotlight session goes on every month. You know, so this is this month's session. Of course, we will have newer topics next month. Thank you so much. Look forward to more such sessions and more such awards with everyone. Thank you.